Kasyapa, both demigods and demons, began their activities, desiring to get nectar by churning the ocean of milk. Text number 6. O sons of Pandu, O sons of the Pandu dynasty, when Mandara mountain was thus being used as a churning rod in the ocean of milk, it had no support, and therefore, although held by the strong hands of the demigods and demons, it sank into the water. Text number 7. One second. And this, okay. After thus suggesting how the snake was to be held, the sons of Kasyapa, both demigods and demons, began their activities, desiring to get nectar by churning the ocean. Text number 6. O son of the Pandu dynasty, when Mandara mountain was thus being used as a churning rod in the ocean of milk, it had no support, and therefore, although held by the strong hands of the demigods and demons, it sank into the water. Text number 7. Because the mountain had been sunk by the strength of providence, the demigods and demons were disappointed, and their faces seemed so to shrivel. That means they were frustrated. Text number 8. Seeing the situation that had been created by the will of the Supreme, the unlimitedly powerful Lord, whose determination is infallible, took the wonderful shape of a tortoise, entered the water, and lifted the great Mandara mountain. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Here is evidence that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the supreme controller of everything. As we have previously described, there are two classes of men, the demons and the demigods, but neither of them are supremely powerful. Everyone has experienced that hindrances are imposed upon us by the supreme power. The demons regard these hindrances as mere accidents or chance, but devotees accept them to be acts of the supreme ruler. When faced with hindrances, therefore, the devotees pray to the Lord. Tate nukampan mano punjana evat makritam vipakam. Devotees endure hindrances, accepting them to be caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and regarding them as benedictions. Demons, however, being unable to understand the Supreme Controller, regard such hindrances as accidental. Here, of course, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present personally. It was by his will that there were hindrances, and by his will, those hindrances were removed. The Lord appeared as a tortoise to support the great mountain. Shatir iha vipul la tare tava tistate priste. The Lord held the great mountain on his back. Kesava Ita Kurma Sarira Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Dangers can be created by the Supreme Personality of God, and they can also be removed by him. Thus, and this is known to devotees, but demons cannot understand it. Text number 9. When the demigods and demons saw the Mandara mountain had been lifted, they were enlivened and encouraged to begin churning again. The mountain rested on the back of the great tortoise, which extended for 800,000 miles like a large island. Wow. Text number 10. O king, when the demigods and demons, by the strength of their arms, rotated Mandara mountain on the back of the extraordinary tortoise, the tortoise accepted the rolling of the mountain as a means of scratching his body. Yeah, because the tortoise had some itches on his body. And thus he felt a pleasing sensation. Purport: the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always the unlimited. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his body as a tortoise held on his back the largest of mountains, Mandara Parvata, he did not feel any inconvenience. On the contrary, he apparently felt some itching, and thus the rotation of the mountain was certainly very pleasing. Text number 11. Thereafter, Lord Vishnu entered the demons as the quality of passion, the demons as the quality of goodness, and Vaisuki as the quality of ignorance, to encourage them and increase their various types of strength and energy. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Everyone in this material world is under the different modes of material nature. There were 3 different parties in the churning of the Mandara mountain. The demigods, who were in the mode of goodness, the demons, who were in the mode of passion, and the snake Vaisuki, who was in the mode of ignorance. Since they were all becoming tired, Vaisuki's so much so that he was almost going to die, Lord Vishnu, to encourage them to continue the work of churning the ocean, entered into them according to their respective modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Text number 12. Manifesting himself with thousands of hands, the Lord then appeared on the summit of Mandara mountain, like another great mountain, and held Mandara mountain with his one hand. In the upper planetary systems, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, along with Indra, king of heaven, and other demigods, offered prayers to the Lord and showered flowers upon him. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. To balance the Mandara mountain while it was being pulled from both sides, the Lord himself appeared on its summit like another great mountain. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and King Indra then expanded themselves and showered flowers on the Lord. Text number 13. The demigods and demons worked almost madly for nectar. encouraged by the Lord who was above and below the mountain, and who had entered the demigod, the demons, Vasuki, and the mountain itself. Because of the strength of the demigods and demons, the ocean of milk was so powerfully agitated that all the alligators in the water were very much perturbed. Nonetheless, the churning of the ocean continued in this way. Text 14. Vasuki had thousands of eyes and mouths. From his mouth he breathed smoke and blazing fire, which affected the demons, headed by Poloma, Kalea, Bali, and rivals. And Ilvala. Thus, the demons who appeared like Sarlaha, no, Sarala trees, burned by the forest fire, gradually became powerless. Text number 15. Because the demigods were also affected by the blazing breath of Vasuki, their bodily lusters diminished, and their garments, garlands, weapons, and faces were blackened by smoke. However, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, clouds appeared on the sea, pouring torrents of rain, and breezes blew, carrying particles of water from the sea waves to give the demons relief. When nectar did not come from the ocean milk, despite so much endeavor by the best of the demigods and demons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ajita, personally began to churn the ocean. Okay, Krishna to the Savior, saving. Text 17. The Lord appeared like a blackish cloud. He was dressed with yellow garments. His earrings shone on his ears like lightning, and his hair spread over his shoulders. He wore a garland of flowers, and his eyes were pinkish. With his strong, glorious arms, which award fearlessness throughout the universe, he took hold of Vasuki and began churning the ocean, using Mandara mountain as a churning rod. When engaged in this way, the Lord appeared like a beautifully situated mountain named Indranila. Text 18. The fish, sharks, tortoises, and snakes were most agitated and perturbed. The entire ocean became turbulent, and even the large aquatic animals like whales, water elephants, crocodiles, and timingila fish, large whales that can swallow small whales, came to the surface while the ocean was being churned in this way. It first produced a fiercely dangerous poison called hala hala. Text number 19. O king, when that uncontrollable poison was forcibly spreading up and down in all directions, all the demigods, along with the Lord himself, approached Lord Shiva, Sadashiva, feeling unsheltered and very much afraid. They sought shelter of him. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. One may question that since the Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally present, why did he accompany all the demigods and people in general to take shelter of Lord Sadashiva instead of intervening himself in the connection. In the connection, Srila Madhvacharya warns. Rudrasya yasa so ridhaya swayam Vishnu Visham Vibhu na sanjare samartho pri vayam koche prasantaye. Lord Vishnu was competent to rectify the situation, but in order to give credit to Lord Shiva, who later drank all the poison and kept it in his neck, Lord Vishnu did not take action. Okay. Text number 20. The demigods observed Lord Shiva sitting on the summit of Kailasha hill with his wife, Bhavani, for the auspicious development of the three worlds. He was worshipped by great saintly persons desiring liberation. The demigods offered him their obeisances and prayers with great respect. Text number 21. The Prajapatis said, O greatest of all demigods, Mahadeva, super soul of all living entities and cause of their happiness and prosperity, we have come to the shelter of your lotus feet. Now please save us from this fiery poison which is spreading all over the three worlds. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Since Lord Shiva is in charge of annihilation, why should he be approached for protection, which is given by Lord Vishnu? Good question. Lord Brahma creates, Lord Shiva annihilates. But both Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are incarnations of Lord Vishnu and are known as Satyavesha avatars, Shakdavesha avatars. They are endowed with a special power like that of Lord Vishnu, who is actually all-pervading in their activities. Therefore, whenever prayers for protection are offered to Lord Shiva, actually Lord Vishnu is indicated, for otherwise Lord Shiva is meant for destruction. Lord Shiva is one of the Ishwaras, or the controllers, known as Satyavesha avatars. Therefore, he can be addressed as having the qualities of Lord Vishnu. Text 22. O Lord, you are the cause of bondage and liberation of the entire universe because you are its ruler. Those who are advanced in spiritual consciousness surrender unto you, and therefore you are the cause of mitigating their distresses, and you are also the cause of their liberation. We therefore worship your lordship. Well, that's good. That's a good. That's a good culture there. Purport. Actually, Lord Vishnu maintains and accomplishes all good fortune. If one has to take shelter of Lord Vishnu, why should the demigods take shelter of Lord Shiva? They did so because Lord Vishnu acts through Lord Shiva in the creation of the material world. Lord Shiva acts on behalf of Lord Vishnu. When the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 14.4 that he is the father of all living entities, Aham bija pradapita. This refers to actions performed by Lord Vishnu through Lord Shiva. Lord Vishnu is always unattached to material activities. And when material activities are to be performed, Lord Vishnu performs them through Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is therefore worshipped on the level of Lord Vishnu. When Lord Vishnu is untouched by the external energy, he is Lord Vishnu. And when he is in touch with the external energy, he appears in his feature as Lord Shiva. Interesting. Text 23. O Lord, you are self-effulgent and supreme. You create this material world by your personal energy, and you assume the name Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara when you act in creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Purport. This prayer is actually offered to Lord Vishnu, the Purusha, who in his incarnations as the Guna avatars assumes the names Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. Text 24. You are the cause of all causes, the self-effulgent, inconceivable, impersonal, which is originally Para Brahman. You manifest various potencies in this cosmic manifestation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This prayer is offered to the impersonal Brahman, which consists of the effulgent rays of Parabrahman. Parabrahman is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam. When Lord Shiva is worshipped as Param Brahma, the worship is meant for Lord Vishnu. Okay, that's good. Text number 25. O Lord, you are the original source of Vedic literature. You are the original cause of material nature. The life force, the senses, the five elements, and the three modes, and the Mahatattva. You are eternal time, determination, and the two religious systems called truth or Satya and truthfulness, Rita. You are the shelter of the syllable Om, which consists of three letters, Om, U, and Mem, or Om. Text 26. O Father of all planets, learned scholars know that fire is your mouth. The surface of the globe is your lotus feet. Eternal time is your movements. All the directions are your ears, and Varuna, master of the waters, is your tongue. Purport. In the Shruti mantras, it is said, Agni Sarva Devata. The fire is the aggregate of all demigods. Agni is the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is through Agni or fire that the Lord accepts all sacrificial oblations. Text number 27. O Lord, the sky is your navel, the air is your breathing, the sun is your eyes, and the water is your semen. You are the shelter of all kinds of living entities, high and low. The god of the moon is your mind, and the upper planetary system is your head. Text 28. O Lord, you are the three Vedas personified. The seven seas are your abdomen, and the mountains are your bones. All drugs, creepers, and vegetables are the hairs on your body. The Vedic mantras, like Gayatri, are the seven layers of your body. And the Vedic religious system is the core of your heart. Text 29. O Lord, the five important Vedic mantras are represented by you, by your five faces, from which the 38 most celebrated Vedic mantras have been generated. Your Lordship, being celebrated as Lord Shiva, is self-illuminated. You are directly situated as the supreme truth known as Paramatma. Purport. The five mantras mentioned in this connection are the following, are as follows. 1. Purusha. 2. Aghora. 3. Sadyojata. 4. Mavana Deva. 5. Ishana. These five mantras are within the category of the 38 special Vedic mantras chanted by Lord Shiva, who is therefore celebrated as Shiva or Mahadeva. Another reason why Lord Shiva is called Shiva, which means all auspicious, is that he is self-illuminated, exactly like Lord Vishnu, who is the Paramatma. Because Lord Shiva is directly an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, he is situated as Lord Vishnu's direct representative. This fact is collaborated by a Vedic mantra. Patim Vishwanya Meshwaram Sasvatam Shivam Achyutam. The super soul is called by many names, of which Maheshwara, Shiva, and Achyuta are especially mentioned. Text 30. O Lord, your shadow is seen in irreligion, which brings about varieties of irreligious creations. The three modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are your three eyes. All the Vedic literatures, which are full of verses, are emanations from you because their compilers wrote the various scriptures after receiving your glance. Harivilas. Text 31. Lord Girisha, O Lord Girisha, since the impersonal Brahman effulgence is transcendental to the material modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance, the various directors of this material world certainly cannot appreciate it or even know where it is. It is not understandable even to Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, or the King of Heaven, Mahendra. Purport. The Brahmajyoti is actually the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in Brahma Samhita 540. Yasya praha prabhuto jagadanda koti kotis vasesha vasudadi vibhuti vinam tad brahma niskalam anantam asesha bhutam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is endowed with the great power. With great power, the glowing effulgence of his transcendental form is the impersonal Brahman, which is absolute, complete, and unlimited, and which displays the varieties of countless planets with their different opulences in millions and millions of universes. Although the impersonal feature of the Absolute is an expansion of the rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he does not need to take care of the impersonalists who enter the Brahmajyoti. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Mayatatam idam sarvam jagat avyaktamurtina. In my impersonal feature, I pervade this entire universe. Thus, the avyakta murti, the impersonal feature, is certainly an expansion of Krishna's energy. Mayavadis who prefer to merge into this Brahman effulgence worship Lord Shiva. The mantras referred to in the text 29 are called Mukhani Pamkoparsana Das Savesha. Mayavadis take all these mantras seriously in worshiping Lord Shiva. These mantras are as follows. Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Santaya Mahadevaya Dhimahi Vidyaya Tan No Rudra Pratistayai Prachodayat Drityaya Aghor Re Vyas Tama Ata Gor Yo Moha Aghor Yo Raksha Aghor Tar Abyo Nidra Sarvebhya Sarva Vyadhyai Vadhyai Sarva Sarvebhyo Mrityave Namas Te Stu Kshuda Rudra Rupebhyas Krishna Vamad Devaya Raja Jestaya Swaha Shrestaya Pratyai Rudraya Kalyanai Kalaya Kama Kala Vikranaya Sandinyai Bala Vikaranaya Kriya Balaya Vidayai Balachaya Paramattanaya Tatrayai Sarvabhuta Daman Yai, Brahman Yai, Mana Sosinyai, Anvan Naya, Jwara, Sado Jatam Prabhad Yama Siddhayai, Sadyoj Ataya Vai Nama Ridaya Bhave Ditya Abhav Lakshmai Nati Bhave Medha Bhajasva Mam Kantaya Vava Swada Udbhavaya Prabha Ishana Sarve Vid
Dhyanam.
Vidyanam Sat Inyai Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Abhayai Da Brahmad Dipatir Brahmo Dipatir Brahman Brahmesh Da Shiva Me Astu Marichai Sadava
Sadashiva.
Sada
Sada.
Sadashiva Dwalin Yigal. The impersonal Brahman is known even to the other directors of the material creation, including Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, and even Lord Vishnu. This does not mean, however, that Lord Vishnu is not omniscient. Your Lord Vishnu is omniscient, but he does not need to understand what is going on in his all pervading expansion. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that although everything is an expansion of him, Mayapitam idam sarvam, he does not need to take care of everything. Na chaham tesu avastita, since there are various directors like Lord Brahma and Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Indra. Text 32. When annihilation is performed by the flames and sparks emanating from your eyes, the entire creation is burned to ashes. Nonetheless, you do not know how this happens. What then is to be said of your destroying the Daksha Yagya, Tripurasura, and the Kalahuta poison? Such activities cannot be subject matters for prayers offered to you. Purport. Since Lord Shiva considers the great acts he performs to be very unimportant, what was to be said of counteracting the strong poison produced by the churning? The demigods indirectly prayed that Lord Shiva counteract the Kalakuta poison, which was spreading throughout the universe. Text number 33. Exalted, self-satisfied persons who preach to the entire world think of your lotus feet constantly within their hearts. However, when persons who do not know your austerity see you moving with Uma, they misunderstand you to be lusty. Or when they see you wandering in the crematorium, they mistakenly think that you are ferocious and envious. Certainly, they are shameless. They cannot understand your activities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shiva is the topmost Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam yata sambhu. It is therefore said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigne Na Bujaya. Even the most intelligent person cannot understand what a Vaishnava like Lord Shiva is doing or how he is acting. Those who are conquered by lusty desires and anger cannot estimate the glories of Lord Shiva, whose position is always transcendental. In all the activities associated with lusty desires, Lord Shiva is an implement of Atma Rama. Ordinary persons, therefore, should not try to understand Lord Shiva and his activities. One who tries to criticize the activities of Lord Shiva is shameless. Text 34. Even personalities like Lord Brahma and other demigods cannot understand your position, for you are beyond the moving and non moving creation. Since no one can understand you in truth, how can one offer you prayers? It is impossible. As far as we are concerned, we are creatures of Lord Brahma's creation. Under the circumstances, therefore, we cannot offer you adequate prayers, but as far as our ability allows, we have expressed our feelings. Those are honest statements. O greatest of all rulers, your actual identity is impossible for us to understand. As far as we can see, your presence brings flourishing happiness to everyone. Beyond this, no one can appreciate your activities. We can see this much and nothing more. Okay, well, obviously, the uh, uh, the glories of Lord of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is something that we can never come to, that never comes to an end. It is eternal. Purport. When the demigods offered these prayers to Lord Shiva, their inner purpose was to please him so that he would rectify the disturbing situation created by the hala hala poison. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.20, Kama Ishtaishtar Kita Jnana Prapadyante Nya Devata. When one worships demigods, this is certainly because of deep rooted desires he wants fulfilled by the mercy of those demigods. People are generally attached to the worship of demigods for some motive. Text 36. Srila Sukadeva Goswami continued, Lord Shiva is always benevolent toward all living entities. When he saw that the living entities were very much disturbed by the poison, which was spreading everywhere, he was very compassionate. Thus he spoke to his eternal consort Sati as follows. Text 37. Lord Shiva said, My dear Bhavani, just see how all these living entities have been placed in danger because of the poison produced from the churning of the ocean of milk. Text 38. It is my duty to give protection and safety to all living entities struggling for existence. Certainly, it is the duty of the Master to protect his suffering dependents. Text 39. People in general, being bewildered by the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are always engaged in animosity toward one another. But devotees, even at the risk of their own temporary lives, try to save them. Wow. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is the characteristic of a Vaishnava. Paraduka Dukhi. A Vaishnava is always unhappy to see the conditioned souls unhappy. Otherwise, he would have no business teaching them how to become happy. In materialistic life, people must certainly engage in activities of animosity. Materialistic life is therefore compared to samsara davanala, a blazing forest fire that automatically takes place. Lord Shiva and his followers in the Parampara system try to save people from this dangerous condition of materialistic life. This is the duty of devotees following the principles of Lord Shiva and belonging to the Rudra Sampradaya. There are 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas, and the Rudra Sampradaya is one of them. Because Lord Shiva or Rudra is the best of the Vaishnavas. Vaishnavanam yata sambhu. Indeed, as we shall see, Lord Shiva drank all the poison for the benefit of humanity. Text number 40. My dear gentle wife, Bhavani, when one performs benevolent activities for others, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is very pleased. And when the Lord is pleased, I am also pleased. Although with all other living creatures. Therefore, let me drink this poison, for all the living entities may thus become happy because of me. Well, that shows how merciful the Lord is. Text 41. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, after informing Bhavani in this way, Lord Shiva began to drink the poison, and Bhavani, who knew perfectly well the capabilities of Lord Shiva, gave him her permission to do so. Yeah, you should always ask your wife before you do something. Text 42. Thereafter, Lord Shiva, who is dedicated to auspicious benevolent work for humanity, compassionately took the whole quantity of poison in his palm and drank it. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although there was such a great quantity of poison that it spread all over the universe, Lord Shiva had such great power that he reduced the poison to a small quantity so that he could hold it in his palm. One should not try to imitate Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva can do whatever he likes. But those who try to imitate Lord Shiva by smoking ganja, meaning marijuana, and other poisonous things will certainly be killed because of such activities. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although there are such great, text 43, sorry. As if in defamation, the poison born of the ocean of milk manifested its potency by marking Lord Shiva's neck with a bluish line. That line, however, is now accepted as an ornament of the Lord. The poison is the ornament of the Lord, not a ball. Text 44. It is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is present in everyone's heart. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Here is an explanation of how those engaged in activities for the welfare of others are very quickly recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 18.68-69, Ya idam paramam kuyam mad bhakteshu avidasyati nacha tasman manusyesu kashit me priyakritama. One who preaches the message of Bhagavad Gita to my devotees is most dear to me. No one can excel him in satisfying me by worship. End of quote. There are different kinds of welfare activities in this material world, but the supreme welfare activity is the spreading of Krishna consciousness. Other welfare activities cannot be effective, for the laws of nature and the results of karma cannot be checked. It is by destiny or the laws of karma that one must suffer or enjoy For instance, if one is given a court order, he must accept it, whether it brings suffering or profits. Similarly, everyone is under obligation to karma and its reactions. No one can change this. Therefore, the Shastra says, Tashyaiva heto prayate pravido na labhate yad brahma matam upari adha. One should endeavor for that which is never obtained by wandering up and down the universe as a result of the reactions of karma. What is that? One should endeavor to become Krishna conscious. If one tries to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, he should be understood to be performing the best welfare activity. The Lord is automatically very pleased with him. If the Lord is pleased with him, what is left for him to achieve? If one has been recognized by the Lord, even if he does not ask the Lord for anything, the Lord, who is within everyone, supplies him whatever he wants. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Tesam nitya viyuktanam yogashamam vihamyaham. Again, as stated here, Chutyanti loka tapena sadava prayaso jana. The best welfare activity is raising people to the platform of Krishna consciousness, since the conditioned souls are suffering only for want of Krishna consciousness. The Lord himself also comes to mitigate the suffering of humanity. Yada yada hi dharma sel glani bhavati bharata abhyutanam dharma sel tadatmanam shajam yaham. Paritranaya sadrinam vinasaya chituskritam dharma samsthapanata ya sambhavami yuge. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish the principles of religion. I advent myself millennium after millennium. Bhagavad Gita 4.7-8. All the Shastras conclude, therefore, that spreading the Krishna consciousness movement is the best welfare activity in the world. Well, that's what we're trying to do. Because of the ultimate benefit bestows upon people in general, the Lord very quickly recognizes such service performed by a devotee. Text 45. Upon hearing of this act, everyone, including Bhavani, the daughter of Maharaja Daksha, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and the people in general, very highly praised this deed performed by Lord Shiva, who is worshipped by the demigod and who bestows benedictions upon the people. Text 646. Scorpions, cobras, poisonous drugs, and other animals whose bites are poisonous took the opportunity to drink whatever little poison had fallen and scattered them from Lord Shiva's hand while he was drinking it. Purport. Mosquitoes, jackals, dogs, and other various the dakshuka or animals whose bites are poisonous drank the poison of the Samudra Mantana, the churned ocean, since it was available after it fell from the palms of Lord Shiva. Thus end the Bhagavad Gita purports of the 8th canto, 7th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Shiva Saves the Universe by Drinking Poison. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the end of that part of in other words, the end of Canto 8, Chapter 7, Text 46. And tomorrow we will hear the churning of the milk ocean, Chapter 8. Are there any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 8th canto, 7th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Lord Shiva Saves the Universe by Drinking Poison. Wow. You see how powerful Lord Shiva is. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll stop right there and pick up tomorrow. Chapter 8, the churning of the milk ocean. Haribol. Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Okay, so thank you very much, my dear devotees. Have a very good day. And keep in your mind the following. Mosquitoes, jackals, dogs, and other varieties of Dandasuka, or animals whose bites are poisonous, drank the poison of the Samudra Mantana, the churned ocean, since it was available after it fell from the palms of Lord Shiva. Now you know where these mosquitoes, jackals, dogs, and other varieties of Dandasuka, or animals whose bites are poisonous, come from. They drink from this poison called the Samudra Montana, which was the result of the ocean that was churned, and fell after it fell from the palms of Lord Shiva on the earth planets. Okay, so we can overcome all of this by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and avoiding the association of unholy people. And so you see mosquitoes, jackals, dogs, and other varieties of Dandasuka, or animals whose bites are poisonous, drank the poison of the Samudra Mantana, the churned ocean, since it was available after it fell from the palms of Lord Shiva. Oh boy. Now we know where all these poisonous drugs and scorpions and cobras and other animals come from, and where they get their poison. They drink it, whatever little poison that has fallen and scattered from Lord Shiva's hand while he was drinking. All right, well, thank you very much, my dear devotees. Please chant Hare Krishna. And drink milk, not poison. Milk is the saving grace of Krishna's mercy. Milk should be drunk every day. Very important if you want to have a spiritual life. All right, thank you very much. And please drink milk.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Today is also Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
We have-
you can thank Krishna today.
Yes.
Of course, the karmis, they're going to eat the
Turkey.
turkey. You know how many turkeys are killed for Thanksgiving? It runs into hundreds and thousands.
Yeah,
Terrible.
probably millions.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
So we'll have a feast tonight,
Yes.
this afternoon, as well as we also have volunteer appreciation. So at 6 o'clock, the temple.
Okay. I used to cook this feast every year.
Yeah, we will go there and we'll still need your
Yeah.
touch. Yes, Maharaj.
Haribo.
Haribo. We'll see.